So, you might not know this, but I am an actress. That is what I am studying to do in college. It is what I do for my current part-time job, and it is what I am hoping to become my full-time job after I graduate. As much as I love acting, and as much as I would not give it up for the world, I don't know if it is the best job for your self-esteem when it comes to the way you look. Now, don't get me wrong, I am not unhappy with the way I look. I think I'm doing okay. But when you look at these other actresses who are playing these roles you want to play, and you see who make it to the silver screen, you're like, well, I do want to be in horror movies, so maybe silver screen was like a Freudian slip. But you see these actresses and you're like, wow, this woman does not have any flaws, and I'm actually the only human being to ever get acne, so I should retire. No, but in all seriousness, I think a lot of it is often presented as a woman issue, and I do think there's something to that. I mean, beauty magazines, the way like skincare is marketed towards women, there's a lot of pressure there, but I will say, I don't think we often give enough credit to men in this respect, because men face a lot of societal pressures for how they're supposed to look too. One of the best examples of this is in Hollywood, especially when we see these superhero movies where you see these characters with these super chiseled abs, and it turns out that is just not sustainable, and the way that these actors get to that point is by dehydrating themselves for like 24 hours. And I don't think that always sets a good example for young men. And there is a long conversation to be had about, you know, what societal pressures cause these things, especially when it comes to male superheroes, how much of that is what women are actually interested in versus what body types play into this male power fantasy of this strong man. But I think for men, especially younger men, a lot of that doesn't matter, because what matters is that we have a lot of boys, a lot of teenage boys who do not feel comfortable in the way they look. I don't want to be one of those girls that when women's issues are brought up, they just go, well, what about men? But I do think it's important to acknowledge that these systems in place that can really hurt women can hurt men as well. And I often feel like there are in some ways we do not. This has been a long tangent. I'm sure many people have clicked off this video by now. Let me just get to the point. You get it. Society sucks. Everyone's uncomfortable with the way they look. What are we going to do about it? This trend is super old at this point, which is how you can tell I've been procrastinating this video for a while. But mogging, looks maxing. What is it? This trend was primarily directed towards men, which is why I talked so long at the beginning of the video about beauty standards men are expected to adhere to. And it was this trend of people like doing certain, particularly younger teenage boys, doing certain things and doing exercises or just doing stuff to max the way they look, to upgrade their look, I guess. And, you know, some of it is fine. Like, eat healthy, work out, sure, that all sounds fine. There was also the mogging thing I'm talking about, where you like, I think you like put your tongue at the top of your mouth, and then it's supposed to like change the shape of your jaw. I made a reference to it in my video like either last month or 2 months ago, depending on how long this video takes me to do and edit, and it's gonna take me a bit and you're gonna see why in a sec. But I made a reference to it before. You all saw the meme. It's a million years old at this point. I am super behind. But the one thing I saw people talking about was this website called Mogwarts. Let me pull up the website really quickly for you. So this is the current website. So 60%, 62% lifetime discount. So I guess it's $15 for, so this is, can you move this? Okay, nice. Were they both wearing glasses before? Sorry, for the record, both of these men look fine before and after. I just love that both of them did the movie trope of like, you'll look better if you remove your glasses so I can see your face. Okay, so if you sign up, you gain instant access to the Looks Maxing 101 bundle, jaw, eyes, height, all things you can't really change. skincare mastery and prime hair, so acne, routines, products, etc. Facial harmony, so symmetry, enhancements, again, things you can't really change. Your skincare you can change, but the nutrition essentials bundle, the monthly guests and podcasts. This is just what I need, another male-dominated podcast. The Mogwarts collection, so monthly guide drops, features, etc. One-on-one call opportunities with Kay. I don't know who Kay is, but I do not want to talk to him. Voice maxing, enhancing one's vocal cords. I already work with a vocal coach. I wonder if this is the same thing. Peak performance in fitness as opposed to something else. My personal workout routines. Social life and girls. This is gonna be fun. Products library, over 80 recommendations, and live streams and Q&As. Okay, here's an example with over 28 hours, maybe 70% looks and 30% raw personality. It does not, I don't know what that means. I guess there's a leaderboard system. I do not think I'm gonna get on the leaderboard. You can participate in challenges such as a lifetime free membership. No thanks. Let's, he's the new face of the TikTok trend called looks maxing. So first key to looks maxing, put your hair in your eyes. We've got a lot of that. So this guy has hair in his eyes, this guy's hair in his eyes. Do the two. Yeah, this guy, his hair goes up, so it's fine. But this guy improved by putting his hair in his eyes. I guess you can't really be uncomfortable with the way you look if you can't fully see yourself in the mirror. Okay, let's watch the trailer. Oh, the limited 50% discount is only gonna be a thing for 3 more hours.
Are you tired of feeling overlooked, undervalued, and in need of some actual guidance towards becoming the best version of yourself? Trust me, I've been in your exact same shoes countless times.
87 times, exactly.
Most of you might be wondering whether looks, status, money, social recognition actually play a role. And if they matter, let's face it, the answer is pretty obvious. Well,
Sorry. Oh wow. I'm loving all of the recommendation videos I'm getting. It's crazy. It's just kind of crazy to me because you know that this is directed at preteen boys, and I don't know if this is the lesson that preteen boys need. Keep going.
These things may seem superficial, they play a significant role in how you're perceived and treated in almost every aspect of our lives. It's a tragedy, the society that we're in. Now,
don't make me say it. Don't make me say it. Listen, what am I gonna say here? It's crazy to be like, it's a tragedy that people are so caught up in their appearance that it doesn't let them see the things that really matter. And so to fix that, we're gonna have you focus all of your energy on these superficial things that don't matter because people aren't gonna care about the things that do. What?
From social media to dating apps, our overall image is constantly being evaluated. But hold on, who am I to speak about this? As I mentioned previously, I've been in the exact same place many of you guys are right now. Feeling unattractive, struggling financially, and invisible to girls.
I like that he had a photo of himself for struggling financially, and it was like him looking angrily at the mirror.
Now, you can always Google and find yourself surface level advice that's easily attainable. The unique methods that you'll find within this academy, the precise insights that I've developed within this academy, are the result of extensive research on my part.
What did you research? Give me one article. Give me one scientific article that's like, hey guys, if you go, your jaw is gonna be perfect forever. Let's finish the video. Okay.
As well as personal experience from my own transformation. Something that can only be acquired through trial and error.
You wanna know how the personal transformation can only be acquired? Puberty. I'm so willing to bet that most of these guys, they're like, guys, I signed up for this when I was 12, and within a couple years, my bone structure really developed, my voice dropped, I got taller.
You know, why only listen to me when you can actually take a look at our academy's reviews and testimonials? It was like nothing I've ever seen before. So what are you waiting for?
Was that him?
Academy's reviews and testimonials. It was like nothing I've ever seen before. So what do you...
I don't think that's him, but it's crazy that those two dudes look almost exactly alike, right? Let me look at that one more time.
Take a look at our academy's reviews and testimonials. It was like nothing I've ever seen.
The hair is exactly the same. Am I going crazy? Is something wrong with me?
So what are you waiting for? This isn't just an invitation. It's a call to action for those that are ready to transform their lives. Everything is up to you, really. Everything. You either keep trying to ignore reality, or you make an effort to change it once and for all. Your future self will thank you for starting now and not later.
Cool. Let's look at the what it. Oh, this just takes us to frequently asked questions. Does that button just not work? Oh, you have to join for $15 a month, even though I already spent money to join the Discord chat, which now doesn't matter anymore. Cool, thanks. We'll get back to this. So let's look at the Discord. This is what I got access to when I originally spent money to join. And if you look at the announcements, it looks like everything has switched over to this school platform, which we will look at later. But there is still some stuff on here that I would like to go over. So let's look at the rules. All racist, sexist, or homophobic remarks will not be tolerated, and there will be no slurs used in Mogwarts regardless of background. This is to keep everything clean and friendly. Using them is an instant ban, no exception, no refund. Great. Good for you guys. Rule 2, no not safe for work content, including gore. Two things. One, still fully agree. I can get behind that. But the fact that you put in parentheses, including gore, did something happen? Someone posted in a picture chat, like, look at my chiseled jawline, and they, like, went at themselves with the chisel. Rule 3, make sure you listen to chat. Fine. Rule 4, do not spam in channels. Fine. Rule 5, self-promoting your Twitch, YouTube, or any other social media is not allowed. This is just to keep spam out. Please do not advertise other courses or alternative Discords. 6, do not bring any personal drama into the server. We are a self-improvement community, so there's no need for external drama. Also fine. Rule 7, do not break any Discord terms of service. Okay. Rule 8, all level farming and spamming is prohibited. This is because there are highly valuable cash prizes for the most interactive members. First, you will receive a warning with harsher punishments following. Rule 9, discussions of any course materials outside of Mogwarts will result in a permanent ban without refunds, including discussion or sharing of books, guides, and online courses. We will also be taking legal action against those who decide to do so anyway. This part is interesting to me because I am kind of breaking that rule. So let me just defend myself now. First of all, I thought a lot about how I'm going to make this video and how I'm going to make sure it falls within fair use policy. I do believe that the stuff that I'm going to go over I'm not going to cover the entire content of the course, and I couldn't anyway, because I'm not going to participate in the discussions, and watching my video is not something you can do vicariously. I'm not going to do the voice calls with people. There's a lot of content that I'm not covering, and that even if I did cover, it could not replace the experience of someone buying the course. But I believe that people going into this course should get to have an idea of what they are purchasing. And it's not even like I'm just stealing this and re-uploading them. This is a transformative work, in my opinion. But so here's what I have access to. This is all the library stuff. But I clicked all these links and they are now all defunct. This video is also no longer updated. So I think all the books you have to get through school. So we will come back to those once I get access. The 30-day journey, which is what I am going to do for this video. And we're gonna take the quiz as well, because I'm curious which Griffin, Mew, Slither, Edge. I don't know what that means, and I'm gonna Google it to make sure it's not something gross, because it sounds potentially gross. Oh, it's gross. Yeah, that's gross. I'm not even gonna say that. But let's look at the self roles to get an idea. So you can choose where you're from, if you're male or female, how many announcements you want to get. But the age roles are what stood out to me, because notice that 21 plus is the oldest age you can be, and that's interesting to me. That means that, in my opinion, that shows that they think that more people 13 to 15 will be on there than the entirety of people over 21. Or maybe I'm being unfair, and maybe the reason they have the roles in that way is because you're restricted from certain channels if you are under the age of 21, and that's why once you're 21 plus you get like unlimited access. If that's the case and someone knows that's the case, you can comment down below. But the way this looks set up to me is that this is almost entirely advertised to teenage boys, and especially knowing what figuring out what that one word meant here. I might censor it out because it's so gross, but that's another thing you get if you actually buy the program instead of just watching this video. You get to figure out what word goes there. But having that there and presumably talking about that in a course directed at teenage boys as young as 13, let's take the quiz. Visit site. How would you describe your eyes? Large, bright, with a warm, inviting look. Average in size with a neutral or variable expression. Narrow or sharply angled, often perceived as intense or piercing. I think that entirely depends on your mood. If you're angry, your eyes are gonna go like this. And if you're happy, your eyes are gonna go like this. I'm gonna say large because I like to think I have big eyes, but comment below if that's crazy. And consider your eyebrows. How are they shaped? I actually think I have thicker eyebrows. You can't tell right now because they're not dyed. Fun fact, I actually tint my eyebrows and my lashes because I have naturally blonde hair, but they are thicker, and you can tell that. I promise I have thick eyebrows. But no, they're actually bad right now. I need to go in and get. No, oh my god. Listen to me. I just talked about my appearance and said they're bad right now because I haven't gone into the salon for a while to get myself touched up, and I'm talking about myself by saying it's bad. Man, when you're paying attention to the way you talk about your physical appearance, it's disappointing. Anyway, I'm gonna say I have thick brows. How's your jawline? Rounded or less defined, giving a softer facial appearance. Moderately defined, not particularly soft or sharp. Strong, sharp, or angular, giving a more intense look, or chubby. I don't think I'm chubby. I mean, I have a more rounded jaw because I'm a woman, and women typically have rounder jaws than men, and I've not done anything to change that. But do I have a jawline compared to other women? I don't think so. I think I have a soft appearance. Consider my eyebrows. How are they shaped? Softly arched, giving a relaxed or friendly appearance. Moderately shaped, neither too soft nor too harsh. Strongly defined, angled, and potentially seen as brooding. I think I'm going to say moderately, because I've done straight brows before, and I don't like it when I get my brows done. I try to get a bit of an arch, but I don't think I look brooding. What about my smile? Broad and easily comes across as genuine and warm. A moderate smile that I can control depending on the situation. Rare or small, often seen as smirking or inscrutable. I'm just imagining the Debbie Ryan smile. God, men, I'm sorry. I have a good smile. I smile a lot. I like being happy. Which of the best describes your fitness goals? Bulk, cut, maintain, or I don't lift. So I'm going to say I don't lift because I don't. But also, one, I think that these fitness goals like that are primarily directed towards men because that like bulking up thing is very much a male beauty standard. But I also want to say ahead of time, I am not going to talk about my weight for the sake of this video. I am happy with the weight that I am at. I deal with some health issues that it's Crohn's. I've talked about it on the channel before, that impact my weight and how I put on and how I can put on, keep on, or lose weight. It's just the way that you absorb nutrients with Crohn's, it's different. And the video is supposed to be poking fun at these silly things. I'm going to be honest. The video is supposed to be poking fun at this. And I'm going to genuinely put everything into it. I'm going to do the steps that they've given me because that's only fair. But I don't want someone to watch this video and hurt themselves because they think that that's something they need to do to achieve what they're going to do. And when it comes to counting calories, trying to bulk or cut, I think it can be very dangerous, and I do not have the qualifications to tell you how to do that safely. So maybe I'm being overly cautious, but for the sake of this video, cutting and bulking does not exist. I'm just going to ignore that entirely. Which of the following best describes your grooming routine? In the eyes of men, probably crazy. In the eyes of... No, am I defaulting to gender stereotypes? Am I a bad person? I'm gonna say basic, because I actually don't. I do a lot with my hair, but my skincare routine is not as good as it should be. Uh, Look at that. How important is skincare to you? If I'm breaking out, I take it crazy seriously, and if I'm not breaking out, it does not exist because I do not actually have object permanence. That's a fun fact about me. I'm gonna say 3 out of 10 because 3 is my lucky number, and like I said, my skincare routine is wash my face with a cleanser. The cleanser alternates. It's something with salicylic acid if I'm breaking out, and if I'm not actively breaking out, I'll use more of a gentle cleanser, and then I use this one really nice moisturizer, and that's all I got going for me. So it's not crazy. Which would you consider yourself? I don't even know what those are. Okay. Oh. The dark triad refers to a cluster of negative personality traits, including narcissism, Machiavellism, and psychopathy, characterized by manipulation and lack of empathy, while the light triad is a concept representing the opposite, encompassing positive traits like faith in humanity, humanicism, which focus on caring and benevolent attitudes towards others. I'm gonna say I'm the light triad, if that's okay. I don't want to be presumptuous, but I do not have narcissism. I do not have any form of psychopathy, and I hate Machiavelli. That's not true. I don't hate Machiavelli. I kind of hate Machiavelli. I hate anyone who brings up Machiavelli. Is that too harsh? No. Every time I've been in a discussion and Machiavelli has been brought up, it has made me want to get violent, and I know that correlation is not causation. I'm just telling you what I've experienced. Please don't give me the bad one. I'm a Slither what? I am a Slytherin. That is my Hogwarts house, so let's talk about what I'm actually going to focus on for this video, which is the 30-day journey. The 30-day journey, transform in 30 days. Mindset. Success isn't always about greatness, it's about consistency. Consistent hard work leads to success. Greatness will come. Warning, if you study each slide, you will achieve great results. With that being said, if you skim past it, skip a step, misread a sentence, or take this journey for granted, you will not receive all of the results. That's very intense. I like how misreading a sentence is also on there. Like, if you have dyslexia, death penalty. So this is his transformation. Like, honestly, if I'm being honest, he looks great. I think he always looked fine. It looks like he might have been breaking out a little bit. I'm breaking out a little bit right now too. It happens. I don't want to knock the guy because it does seem like he is more confident in himself now. I just don't think he should be teaching young, still developing boys that their physical appearance is one of the most important things in their lives. They are not done cooking yet, right? 13-year-olds are supposed to be gross. That's what 13 is meant to do to you. I have not met a single person who at like 13, 14 was like, I am happy with the way I look and how my life is going. You're not supposed to. You're supposed to hate yourself at 13. This is a universal experience. And if you're watching this video and you are 13, you are not alone. There is nothing wrong with you. You're just in the bad part of being a human, and you will grow out of it. Focus on yourself and not the superficial things like your face that is not done developing yet. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Let's keep going. Each slide will equal 1 day. Today we begin a journey not for applause, but for purpose. Your task is simple, but not easy. Look better in 30 days. Most glow-ups take years, but many changes can be made in this time frame. Follow each slide and you will succeed. Okay, what does this say? That's just the lore of Ibsum. Yeah, okay. Weekly outline. Week 1, starting analysis. Day 1 through 7. Analyze your features. Find out what needs improvement. Week 2, foundation and habit building. Day 8 through 14, add new things to your routine. Week 3, start trying new things. Day 15 through 21, add new things to your routine. Thank you for the clarification. Week 4, one-time improvements. Day 22 through 28, focus on long-time improvements. Final days, refinement, plus long-term planning. Day 29 through 30, make a long-term game plan. And document changes with before and after photos. So after this, it starts going through the day-by-day things, and I will discuss those on each day. But yeah, I think that's all there is in this chat. All right, I am signing up for school. I can never use this email again because of what I have plagued it with. We're gonna watch this video. Okay, there's 89 spots left. So it's normally $30 a month, but I'm gonna get in for 15. Okay, this is the exact same video that was on his website. Cool. What about this video? I like that it's like, if you can't watch for 1 minute and 4 seconds, we can do it for 53 seconds just for you. Let's look at the photos. Okay, one thing we've learned is that smiling is not allowed in photos. If you want to be attractive, you do not smile. Happiness is for beta men. And then there's all this stuff that we saw on the website. A community that never sleeps. Sorry, absolutely not. You also get access to the deluxe collection. If you get access to the deluxe collection by just signing up for the regular one, then how is it deluxe? Also, there's 7 people online, which is very exciting. Okay. I can save 20% by giving them $144 now. No, I cannot believe I'm giving them money. There's something live happening right now. It's midnight. Did he have a British accent? I have forgotten. So there's 6 people online. No way. Sorry, no. There's 6 people online, which means there's a maximum, or 7 people now, which means there's a maximum of 7 other people in that call. If I join that call, they're going to notice I'm there, and then I'm gonna have to, like, die. Oh, okay. Personal improvement strategy for $100? Are you kidding me? I guess since it says personal, let me click on that because I'm curious, but I'm not doing it. No. So there's 13 things I have to do. Here's what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to bother doing this on camera, but I am going to look at what all 30 days are, and then pick a day to do each of these courses. How long are these courses? Are these the kind of courses that can be completed in one day? Oh, I got a message. Okay, it was automated. I was genuinely terrified that someone had spoken to me. That would not be allowed. Okay, it is day 4. I did not do a little video every single day because I didn't need to, because most of this stuff was like barely anything. But okay, so I'm back at college. I just got off the plane because I was home for break and now I just got back. Let's go over everything. So day 1, I took these example photos, and I love them because they are very unflattering, in my opinion. So the glow up is going to be more drastic because I took not very flattering photos for day 1. So day 1 was just the photos. It also says to start the compounding habits, and the examples it gives are mewing, which is the jaw thing I talked about, the skincare and the lifting weights, and then the hair growth, sleep, all this stuff. The problem is that we haven't identified what I want to change yet, so I didn't know what habits to start, so I was like, I'm gonna wait until I figure out what I want to change, and then I'm gonna start the compounding habits. So day 1, done. The next day, it said to ask the community to analyze your face um, style and physique or anything you plan on changing. And I didn't do this. So I just want, listen, I try to give a lot to these videos. I spend money, I put in the time, I genuinely try to put effort into the videos I make. I cannot imagine the type of masochism required for an adult woman to post a photo of herself online and ask for a bunch of preteen and teenage boys to both rate her appearance out of 10 and give her advice how to improve. I'm sorry, but if there's one, maybe this is problematic of me, but if there is one demographic of people that I'm not going to ask when it comes to how I want to like improve my appearance, it's like preteen and teenage boys. It's not gonna happen. But I did do something else instead. I messaged 3 of my friends. I showed them the before pictures, and I messaged them and I'm like, please tell me how I should improve. I explained the concept of the video so they didn't think I was crazy, and then I asked for advice. I did not ask them to rate my appearance out of 10 for 2 reasons. One, because I don't believe that that's real. You know what I mean? I don't believe that humans exist on a 10-point scale and it's objective. I think it's so personal. I think people have different tastes. So I don't believe in it, and it was just a way for people to feel awkward and cause fights, because if someone asked me to rate them out of 10, especially someone I was very close to, I would just die. So, long story short, I messaged 3 friends asking for advice on how to improve my appearance. So that was day 2. Then day 3 was also weird because it said, set a realistic goal, aim to improve your appearance by 1 to 1.5 points above your current potential after evaluating your facial features. So I guess this is asking me to rate myself out of 10 because I haven't gotten the advice from the community yet. But again, I don't know if I feel comfortable rating myself out of 10 because I don't believe that exists. But let's look at the other advice. So keep in mind that enhancements may be easier for some more than others, particularly if you're already rated higher on the attractiveness scale. A 1-point increase, though seemingly small, can exponentially boost your attractiveness. The difference between a 6 and a 7 out of 10 is substantial. Cool. I don't know what to do with this, so let's skip to today. So I've gotten all the feedback from my 3 friends that I reached out to, and we're gonna review it together. Okay. The first friend that I reached out to was very sweet and did not. I don't know if they just didn't have any advice or they didn't want to hurt my feelings, but the only thing that they gave me was, and it was helpful, but it clearly was trying to be nice, you know what I mean? And they said that in their experience, confidence is very attractive. And what they told me is that they can be dressed to the nines or wearing sweats, and as long as they give off the aura that they feel attractive, people tend to interpret them as attractive, which I actually fully believe there is something to that. I've read the Sherlock Holmes stuff, and in one of the earlier short stories, I believe it's Sherlock himself who says, American women are interesting because all of them act pretty, even if they're not pretty, so you think they're pretty because they act pretty. And if Sherlock Holmes thinks that this is good advice, then confidence. Improve my confidence. I don't actually think I'm not confident, but maybe I will be after getting the advice from my 2 other friends. I'm kidding, I love them. So that was friend one's advice, is confidence. Friend 2 had more advice. So the first thing that they messaged me, and I love them, but the first thing they messaged me was, first of all, iPhone posture. In my defense, I asked them to be mean because I was worried after messaging my first friend that all of my friends would be like gentle and sugarcoat things with me. So when they said, first of all, iPhone posture, I knew I was about to get good advice, but man, did that hit me like a truck. No, thank you for that though, because I actually have a bunch of helpful things here. So the second thing they said, so improve my posture, because I slouch, apparently, which I did not notice. Do something with my hair to make my face less rectangular and give the appearance of a smaller forehead. I did not know that I had a rectangular face shape, although I guess if I do this, I see it. Although if I do this, no, I guess it's rectangular. Sure. So rectangular face shape, and I also didn't know I had a big forehead, but whoops. So do something with my hair. I don't think I want to cut my hair and do what they suggested was maybe like curtain bangs or something other that's face framing. And the reason I'm hesitant to do that is because like I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm an actress, which means I have a professional headshot. And if I do something drastic to my appearance, like change my hairstyle, I have to get a whole new headshot. But we'll look into what else I can do about this. I'll do some research. Shape my eyebrows, which I also mentioned earlier in the video. So I will book an appointment with the salon to get my stuff done. And finally, so in this photo, I'm wearing just my regular oversized Batman t-shirt. And they said that, which is true, that I tend to wear, my go-to combo is just like blue skinny jeans and some like top, either a graphic tee of some kind or a crop top or something like that. It's just easy for me because I can grab blue jeans and top in the morning without thinking about it. But for a while now, I've actually wanted to like play around with my style. That's actually why I have the series on my channel, Rock the Aesthetic. It was originally started because I was like, hey, it's COVID. What if I try experimenting with different looks to see if anything looks better on me than my current vibe? So buy more statement pieces, stop with the combo, and alongside more coordinated outfits, try accessorizing more. So that's going to be a really easy thing to try out. So let's go. So friend 3 said a lot of similar stuff. The first thing they said was that I could do more with my hair. They didn't have advice like curtain bangs. They just said like maybe some texture or form to it. So I'll look into maybe ways of styling my hair. Maybe I'll go to a consultation. Okay, stop. I'm getting my head on my heels. So my third friend, also, the first thing that they mentioned was the hair as well. Trying to do something a little more interesting with it. The second piece of advice they gave me was also on the t-shirt, and maybe trying to wear something a little bit nicer. And then the third thing was about my posture as well. So the advice from friends 2 and 3 was very overlapping, but I actually think that's helpful because it means that neither of them is just making stuff up. So now I have a specific list of things that people think I need to improve on. So we've reviewed the feedback, and that is what today we were supposed to do. So tomorrow I'm supposed to make a list of things I'd like to change based on the feedback. And alongside that, it says, we'll get back to this list later, but I'm also going to figure out the compounding habits that I want to do every day, because I feel like it's easier to pick a list of compounding habits now that I know what needs improvement. So yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow. Okay, it is day 5, and today we are supposed to make a list of the things that I would like to change based on the feedback. So we went over the feedback yesterday, and I added a couple things of my own. So firstly, what order should we do this in? Okay, I'd like to lighten my dark circle. You cannot tell because I'm using my computer camera right now, but I have pretty significant dark circles. And they had a lot of advice for how to deal with that. I would like to whiten my teeth. I think everyone does. Maybe, I don't know. But again, those are some easy things to do there, based both on my advice from the one friend and the stuff that I've mentioned multiple times. I need to shape my brows and dye my lashes. I want to start doing core exercises. One, because 2 of the 3 people pointed out that I have kind of posture issues. And 3, because I have I don't know what's wrong with me, but I have lower back problems and my back has given out a couple times, so I need to work on my core anyway. Um, and the last thing is I need to put more effort into my outfits. So those are my goals. I went through the product list on the school page, and I don't want to. I'm not going to share the whole list because, you know, if you want to see the whole list, pay the $15. I'm going to turn my light to warm because you can't see me. Does this help? No. What if I turn it off? Now I'm just in the dark. But, so, if you want to know what the entire product list is, you should use the website. But I picked out some specific quotes that I really liked that I do feel comfortable sharing with you. For the first one, they recommend a specific lip treatment, and they say if you're looking to go the extra step and heal up your dry looking lips, I'd say you should also opt for an overnight lip treatment. And then they describe the product recommendation, and then they say, oh, and ignore the feminine design, lol. It's just pink. It doesn't have boobs on it. It's just pink. So they specifically recommend 2 fragrances. The first one is clearly meant to be kind of like a gender neutral, unoffensive thing. I won't give the specific recommendation away, but it's described as offering a balance of sophistication and confidence. The other fragrance, I won't give it away, but it has a swear word in the title of the fragrance, and it's described as a bold and luxurious fragrance with an unapologetic name to match its unique blend of notes. The fragrance is perfect for men who want to exude confidence and aren't afraid to make a statement. Okay. They were talking about a jelly moisturizer, and they said, not gonna lie, it looks like the eatable Jello, lol, but don't eat for God's sakes. Good to know, thank you. He suggests a supplement for omega-3, lists off a ton of benefits for omega-3, and then he ends it by saying, do you need more reasons? We didn't think so either. This supplement is literally the foundation when it comes to taking supplements for your health. Well, I'm not taking that supplement, so I guess my house is gonna be messed up because I'm not using the foundation. This one is silly, but he recommends a toothbrush and says, this toothbrush offers deep cleaning and enhanced plaque removal, which is key for having white teeth, fellas. And last but not least, he recognizes a specific Korean brand, but he describes it as, we highly recommend the usage of Korea's infamous brand. Why is it infamous? What did it do wrong? No, but I ordered some products today. It should be here, the day after tomorrow. Woo! Okay, I'm using my phone again because the computer quality was not good, but the products have arrived. So I don't get enough potassium. I just don't, and that was one of the things that was on the list that was really important. So I ordered these potassium gummies because if I'm gonna take supplements, I'm gonna make them fun because I'm at heart 5 years old. There were a couple things recommended for under eyes. I got 2 of them. This was the first, but this was the most interesting to me. So apparently it adds fat to certain areas, so it can be good for dark circles because it fattens up the area, but it's also you can also put it on your lips. So apply under the eye and on the eyelid, around the orbital bone and around the eyelid every morning and every night, so twice a day. Wow, okay, that's a lot. So I'll just, should I be doing this in the bathroom? So the orbital bone is like all of this. Let's start with my under eyes, because that's like, I'm worried about getting it in my eye. Let's go around on, feeling the bone, and on the eyelid. Okay, yeah, now I feel like I have stuff around my eyes, so we're gonna start doing that twice a day, or once a day, or whatever. So there's a couple things you can do with this. You can incorporate 1 to 2 drops into your skincare routine. You can apply directly to your finished cosmetics. It says 1 to 10%. I don't know what that means. When mixing a large amount, add a natural preservative. Use it as a raw material when making cosmetics. And yeah, so I'm gonna just go ahead and put this on my lips. I wasn't gonna do it for the under eye area because I already had 2 products for the under. Oh, I have a little clear thing. I wonder what I will do with that. I guess they have that in case you want to mix it with another product. So this is what it looks like. Okay, before application, conduct a patch test on your wrist. Oh, okay. How do I... All right, I put it on my wrist. Oh, I feel something. It doesn't hurt. It feels... Can almost feel like my pulse in it. That probably means it's safe. Time to put it directly on my mouth. How am I going to do this? I'll put it on my finger first. Okay. Now I'm going to wait a second. It says to put it in a cool, dry place or refrigerate it, but I'm gonna just put it in my bedside table. I don't feel anything on my lips. Maybe I was just imagining the pulse in my wrist because I was so nervous. All right, I guess. And then I'll take I probably should have taken these first before putting stuff on my lips because I'm gonna wipe my lips off after a certain point so I don't ingest whatever this frightening stuff is. But I take some medication before bed, so I'll just take these gummies alongside everything else I already take. But yeah, that's all. Okay, I've given it the stuff time to absorb into my lips, and then I wiped it off, so it's not gonna I'm not gonna ingest it. So I took the, also it's day 6, by the way. So I'm supposed to do, it had a bunch of information on like hair regrowth, but I'm a woman, so I don't suffer from male pattern baldness, and hair growth is not the biggest concern I have right now. Right now, I need to wash my hair tomorrow morning, so my hair's kind of gross right now. But I will read all of the hair stuff on Mogwarts like tonight before bed, and I am going to try the gummies right now so you can get my first look on the reaction. So it's sealed, so I didn't cheat and try it before. I'm supposed to take 2, so let's try one. It's gummy bear. It's kind of something about it's weird. Anyway, bottoms up. It's fine. Yeah, it's good. I mean, is it sugar-free? It says it reduces leg cramps, which is really specific. It does nothing for any other kinds of muscle cramps. Um, yeah, it's sugar-free, but it has stevia in it, so it tastes like it's sugar-free. Um, but it's sweet. It's fine. Like, it's good. Like, I will take this every day. Okay, forgive me, my hair looks terrible, but it is day 7, and today we start lifting weights. And by lifting weights, I mean not doing that, because I don't lift weights. So first, if you don't lift weights already, today is the day you will start. Lifting weights is one of the easiest things you can do to become more attractive, and it has little to do with genetics. If you want to look better and you don't lift weights, you are leaving facial gains on the table. I didn't know working out affected your face. And then it says bulk versus cut. Decide between bulking and cutting. Bulking might make you glow down throughout this 30-day period, but bulking is almost always worth it in conjunction with lifting weights. If you are already overweight, do not bulk. I'm not going to do either. Here's what I'm going to do instead. So, posture is something that has been brought up by multiple people. And additionally, I have some core issues I want to work on. I have lower back problems, which apparently can be caused by Crohn's, according to a Google search I did the other day. I don't know what else could possibly cause me to have lower back problems, so it has to be that, I guess. So, I'm going to do some core workouts to help my posture, and also strengthen my core so that my back stops giving out. Like there's been a couple times now where I've been doing something and my back will just freeze up and I have to lay down. But that's secondary, obviously. Appearance is much more important than general well-being. So, my brother is this big workout guy. He does personal training in his free time. So back home, because my brother trains people in his free time, I have access to a treadmill really easily. So I had to, but because I'm at Oberlin, I don't have a treadmill nearby, so I was hoping to do stuff like that I could do in my dorm every day since I'm supposed to be doing this every day. So I said, hey, brother, I'm censoring his name because I don't know if he wants me to tell people his name. I'm back at school, which means I have no treadmill. I was hoping you might have some core exercises that I can do every day at home, so without equipment. Also, a friend told me I slouch. They called it iPhone posture, RIP. So I'd love to add in a daily exercise to work on fixing that, too. And he says, if you do the treadmill every day for a month, we will move on. I had been doing some daily treadmill walks before I even started this, just because I wanted to get more active, because I don't do anything. And I said, I don't have a treadmill. That's why I need new stuff I can do at home. And my brother said, where is there a treadmill? And I said, there's one 10 minutes from me, but with theater and stuff, I'm often not home until 10 or 11 p.m. I don't want to or really feel comfortable walking 10 minutes after dark, especially when the temperature gets so low around here. My wonderful, super helpful brother said, gotcha. We will have to find ways to get you moving. That's why I'm asking for ways to do it at home. I thought you were big into at-home exercising. And I believe he is. That's one of the things he tells his clients is like, it's great to have things you can do at home so that you don't need to go to the gym every day. And he goes, and then finally, after having to wrangle an answer out of him, he goes, I would start with overhead squats. Squat in front of a wall with your toes and knees against the wall. And I say thank you. And then I Google what overhead squats is, and it's not that. So I Googled it, and it looks like something you do while holding a weight, which I don't have. But I have decided he is no longer a helpful person to talk to. So I reach out to the Snapchat AI that I did the one video on, and now I message for basically exclusively reasons like this.
I said, hey, my brother recommended I do overhead squats. He described it as squatting in front of a wall with my knees and toes against the wall. I'm having trouble visualizing it, and Google says that overhead squats are something done with weights. What is he actually describing? And the AI said, it sounds like your brother is describing a mobility exercise often referred to as a wall squat or a wall facing squat. This exercise is different from the traditional overhead squat with weights. Here's how to do it. Stand facing a wall with your toes and knees as close to the wall as possible. Keep your feet about shoulder width apart. Extend your arms straight up overhead. Slowly squat down, keeping your chest up and your arms extended without letting your knees or toes touch the wall. This exercise helps improve your squat form and mobility by encouraging proper alignment and balance. Cool. Let's try it. So I'm gonna post up here, I guess, because there's a wall. I'm trying to figure, okay, so shoulder length apart. It's like this. God, I do have iPhone posture. So, how do I do this without falling over? Is it obvious I don't work out? So that's like... Okay. I'm gonna Google this, hang on. It does sort of look like he's kissing the wall, but I guess that's what I'm about to do now. So, it looks like your knees can go over your toes. I was trying to not do that. Don't know why I was... Oh, because if I put my toes against the wall, it does give my knees... I'm gonna start by holding the wall. Ignore all of this stuff I have on my bedside table, but I'm gonna start holding the wall, and then I'm gonna keep working on this, and I'm gonna text my brother for advice, and hopefully by the end of the 30 days I will have better form to show you guys. But let's do one more. One more so we can compare this one to what it will eventually be. Cool. Okay, it is day 8, which is very exciting because it means we are on week 2, where we're gonna do foundation and habit building, which I think is the exact same thing that we did last week, but that's still exciting. So today is your under eye area. So assess my under eye area. This can take 1 to 6 months to truly change, but you can still start seeing improvements within a 20-day time span. Under eyes, dark. I have dark circles. We knew this. I don't know what under eye hollowness, but I don't think I have that. I don't really have bags under my eyes, do I? It's just dark, but it says if you have dark circles, get the Korean volumizing serum. Korea only has one volumizing serum. That's good to know. It promotes fat growth over an extended period of time. It also has brightening agents like that and moisturizing agents to give you a long and short-term fix on under eye issues. I'm gonna order that, and that will probably be here in a few days. And in the meantime, I'm still using my this twice a day. So hopefully that will help some as well. Okay, it is day 9, and I'm covering my eyebrows because I just got them done and I need to do a little bit of a reveal. I got my hair trimmed and I got my eyebrows and lashes done. I'm not hiding my lashes, so you might be able to see that they're black right now. But I got my brows waxed and tinted. And normally I don't get them this dark, but my show opens in like 2 weeks, and so I wanted to get them a little darker than normal so they'd last, but I think I got them too dark and they're kind of freaking me out, so don't judge me or I will cry. But here's the before, and 3, 2, 1. Are they not crazy? I actually don't feel like they're like I do think that they are dark, but maybe it's just because I'm used to lighter eyebrows that these just feel genuinely insane to me. But anyways, day 9 is not actually related to eyebrows or whatever at all. I probably should have done this yesterday because that was about the under eye. So it says Day 9, skin undertones. Skin quality encompasses various elements, including skin texture, undertones, and hydration. These factors collectively contribute to the appearance of your skin. Check out Burton facial supplements and start taking the supplements that best fit your skin and tone. Keep in mind, most of these supplements take 2 to 8 months to see drastic improvement, but if you start now, you can see minor changes in skin undertone. So I have a cool undertone. I have warm colored hair and a cool undertone. I don't know what, and my eyes are blue, so that's cool. I don't know what season that makes. God, my eyebrows are like scaring me. I don't know what season that makes me. As for skin problems, I feel like I'm pretty hydrated right now. My skin does kind of get sick. I'm breaking out right now a little bit, which you actually thankfully can't see too badly on the phone, but you can see pop pop. So I need to, or I would like to clear that up. I'll check out this Burton facial supplement thing. But I'm looking at the days here, and it looks like we skip from day 9 to day 19. So I don't know if there are daily things to do until day 19. I just need to keep adding new things to my routine, so I guess I'll try doing that. Hello. It has been a hot minute since I filmed, which is not good because I was supposed to be doing this every day, but hear me out. Right around the time that the break was supposed to happen, where there isn't a new thing to do every day, my senior capstone show happened, which was really fun and super exciting, but I was so busy that like doing this video completely went on the back burner. And then so the show closed on Sunday, and then on Monday, I immediately got super very sick, and I was bedridden for over a week. So I was also not filming for that. So that's unfortunate, but here's what we're gonna do. So I was still doing the daily routines every day, even while I was sick, because I had to do something or I was gonna go crazy. But I also caught up on all of the Mogwarts video stuff. So I'm gonna relay most of that information for you today, except for a few clips, which I will specifically save for remaining relevant days. But let's go over this together. So, debloating 101. This was just text, there was no video. It talks about the difference between facial bloating and face fat, which is cool, I guess. He talks about eating healthy and other lifestyle habits, so there was nothing in there that I was like, whoa. He did say that things like alcohol and salt cause the body to retain water, which, as someone who is not in STEM, it feels like that would make you lose water, but I'm gonna take his advice on that one. Except for I'm not really, because I'm not worried about my face being bloated, but debloating 101, completed. Here's another one that I'll just skip right over, which is the nutrition and healthy lifestyle. And the advice actually seems pretty good. The only reason I'm skipping over it is because, one, I wanted to be really careful about talking about diet stuff in this video for reasons that I've mentioned a bunch of times already. But also in particular for me, I have a lot of gut issues. I have Crohn's, which I've talked about on this channel. So altering my diet at all is always a huge, huge pain, literally and figuratively. So I'm just not gonna do that. So it's not bad advice, it's just not for me. Lip care made easy. So he describes a couple lip issues, and he says that chapped lips are the worst. And he does have pretty decent lip care advice, especially in regards to over-exfoliating, because I feel like over-exfoliating anything is a trap that people fall into a lot. The thing that he doesn't really go into detail about is plumping your lips, which is kind of the thing that I need because I don't have a top lip. But he does mention that volufuline helps keep lips moisturized, which is the thing that I'm using on my top lip once a day. So there we go. Now we're going to go into the Looks Maxing 101 section. And that's extensive, so be prepared. So the jawline sculptor, again, not something I'm worried about because I feel like my jawline is fine. You gotta start by having straight teeth. If you don't have straight teeth, none of this is gonna help you. Luckily, I have a retainer I wear every night, and I also wear braces. Or I used to wear braces. I did regular braces in middle school and then Invisalign in high school, so hopefully my teeth are there. He spends a whole section defining what counts as a jaw and what different parts of the jaw are called, and guys, I'm so sorry, I tuned out. I was sick, I'm a humanities girly, I just could not pay attention, but he
goes into detail on what the jaw is. He says that thicker jaws are more attractive on guys than thinner jaws. I can't speak for all women, and I can't speak for gay guys, but I don't care. I don't care if you've got a brick for a face. But he does talk about, and I actually think it's really good that he pointed this out, he talks about how a super square jaw is favored by the male gaze. He uses the words male gaze, which I was not expecting, but I do think it's a really important thing to point out, how a lot of this like super macho man thing is more about the power fantasy as opposed to what women are actually attracted to, which is fine. If you want to look like Superman because you like Superman, go knock yourself out. I just think it's healthy to point out why these things are there. So he actually does talk about women's jawlines. So here's what he says, and here's what I have to keep in mind. So he says that women with really strong jaws are seen as attractive like models. So a lot of models have strong jaws, which is actually true. I did like a study on how not a lot, but a disproportionate amount of models had XX chromosomes and stronger features. But women with softer jawlines are seen as dainty and more feminine. So you can't really go wrong with a jawline as a girl, which is cool for me. Sucks to be a guy though, because it says that if you're a guy, you have to at least have a medium definition jawline or it's bad. So again, sucks to be y'all. I am simply built different. Another thing he says is that people have weaker jaw muscles now because we're eating softer food. I don't know if that's true. I've never eaten meat in my life, and I don't feel like I have a particularly weak jaw. I'm an actress, not a scientist though, so if any STEM people in the comments want to sound off and tell me if we have bad jawlines now because of the food. He also talks a lot about exercises on how to strengthen your jaw, which I'm not going to delve into because my jaw, again, not for me. Women cannot have bad jawlines. So he ranks 5 different things, and I'm not going to list all of them because, again, I'm going to give you a reason to go do this course yourself. But I will say that one of them is a jaw exerciser. And he goes on and on about how dangerous it is and that how a jaw exerciser can cause issues with your teeth and your jaw and it's not healthy. And I was really getting ready to compliment him for, again, putting people's health first. And then he ranked it 2 out of 5. Guys, don't break your jaw. Please don't break your jaw. If I have any preteen, teenage, if I have any men watching this at all, don't break your jaw, please. Okay, let's move on. And then another thing, he brings up medication that will make you pee a lot to help you lose water weight and make your face thinner. And he goes, this is really unhealthy. Don't do it. I mean, unless you know what you're doing and unless you really want it, but otherwise don't do it. I don't think you could do that, man. I'm sure I'm going to point it out again, but there's a couple times through the courses where he'll bring something up and then he'll go, oh, wait, but like, don't do this because it's bad for you. It's super effective, but it's bad for you. And I feel like he's trying to have his cake and eat it too, because if someone does it and gets hurt, he can be like, well, I told people not to do it. But I think if you are bringing it up and saying that it works, that is inherently telling people to do it. It's the equivalent of, like, if you've ever taken a course in university where the teachers are like, so the college tells me that you have to buy textbooks from the bookstore. So I've put links on the syllabus to free places to get textbooks just so you know to avoid them. Like, we all know what you're doing. Come on. And then I think I'm going to skip the rest of the Looks Maxing 101 guide and come back to it on future days. So I saw the course labeled Social Life in Girls, and I was like, oh, I'm going to have so much content here. So I click on it, and the first section, he talks about red flags. I have a lot to say about this, but I'm going to list off all the red flags he says in 3 categories. The first category is going to be red flags that I agree with. The second is red flags that I solidly disagreed with, and the third is like, whatever. He does list these as red flags for girls, but I think that all of these red flags could apply to anybody. So he talks about monkey branching or serial monogamy, and I agree that that can be a red flag. I personally don't go on dates immediately after ending a relationship, and I kind of think that should be standard, but also, what do I know? But I would not feel comfortable going on a date with someone who is like fresh out of a relationship, like days. Although I feel like with monkey branching, it is usually someone still in a relationship going on a first date with you, and that's just cheating.
The second thing he says is a red flag that I agree with is paying more attention to her phone than on a date. Agreed. That's super not cool. Don't do that. If she's rude to service workers, correct. If someone is rude to service workers, don't date them. If she's only friends with guys because she doesn't get along with girls, and he doesn't actually say why that is. And I have the slightest feeling that him and I might have different reasons for viewing this as a red flag. But we both do view it as a red flag. I feel like this is also not an issue for me though, because if I'm on a date with a woman and she says that she doesn't get along with other women, I'm gonna assume that I've accidentally gone on a date with a straight woman, because I have never heard a bi woman or a lesbian woman talk like that. He says if she has a delusional, inflated sense of value. I mean, I love a confident woman, but I'll take his word that he's talking about like actual narcissists. Okay, and then here's a bunch of quick things. If she's unfaithful, that is a reasonable red flag. If they're not over their ex, also reasonable. Don't date someone if you're still not over someone else. Excusing terrible behavior as a result of being hurt in the past and making no effort to fix said behavior and heal from the past. Don't use trauma to be abusive, red flag. Constant need for drama, red flag. He says the words freaking out over the homeless dude. It says the homeless dude, so I guess if she's rude to one particular homeless dude. But no, I agree. If you're rude to homeless people, then you're a bad person. Double standards, pretty set in stone. She uses sex as a weapon or a bribe. Again, not applicable to me because I don't have sex at all, but that sounds manipulative. Shout out to allosexuals. It sounds rough out here for you guys. And finally, no interests in your friends or your hobbies. Fair enough. Don't date someone who doesn't have any interest in who you are as a human being. Now let's get to some of the red flags that he says that I disagree with. So first of all, he says using astrology as an excuse for their awful behavior. And I will say, don't use any religion for your awful behavior, but I do want to point out that I see astrology as a religion. If she uses astrology to explain why she's acting sad, for example, I think that's fine. The thing that he says that made me put this in the disagree category is he said, imagine living your life based on the stars in the sky. Okay, Swami, you and I believe that there's just a guy in the sky that tells us what to do. I don't think we can be mean to other people for believing in the stars the way we believe in God, right? Like, it just... To be clear, I know that I am Jewish and he's Muslim, but both Muslim and Jewish people are monotheistic, and I believe that Muslims believe that Muslims and Jews worship the same God, so I'm gonna lump us together to make this point about how I don't think you can say monotheistic religions are less silly than, like, astrology. He then says that eye intensity on the first date is bad.
If you're able to maintain eye contact with someone that you find attractive, then you've been desensitized. And in that case, the girl is not one that you want to mess with. Too much baggage. Drop her. There's a whole lot more out there.
He says that girls that do this are not shy, and therefore they have a lot of experience with men, which is also bad. He makes it sound like if you are romantically interested in someone, you should not want to look them in the eye, or you should be nervous. I think it's totally possible to be confident on a first date, but he says a high body count is a red flag, which I disagree with. If you want to wait until you have sex till marriage and you want to date someone who also believes that, I think that's one thing, but I would consider that more a difference in values rather than a red flag. This one is my personal favorite. He says that if a girl shows interest in you right off the bat, it's usually a crypto scam. Usually. Men, I am begging you to have more self-confidence, because what do you mean, usually? Are there women who just go on... Okay, I'm not a guy, so I can speak to women's experience. If you are a guy, comment down below if you've ever been tricked into going on a date that ended up being a crypto scam, and tell me the entire story, because that's crazy. Here's the rapid fire ones. Daddy issues. I kind of hate when guys say girls with daddy issues are a red flag, because why are women getting blamed for having bad father figures? Couldn't be me. I love my dad, but I, like, if a woman has a bad father, I feel like that's the father's issue. He says if someone drinks for fun, which again, I disagree with being a red flag, but he's mentioned, but he is Muslim and he's mentioned that he does not drink. So again, if you don't drink and you want to date someone who doesn't drink,
that's totally fine. I think I'm just, in my mind, there's a difference between a preference and a red flag, if that makes sense. Uh, Smokes cigarettes, same issue. Multiple hair colors in short periods of time, that's not only not a red flag, but that is so attractive. Bad tattoos, again. Let's move on to the final category of red flags, which is ones that I sort of went on. So the first is celebrity crushes. And he's like, if she brings up a celebrity crush on the first date, it's a sign that she's always going to be comparing you to other people. I don't really see that, but I also am not hard disagreeing. I'll just go, sure, I get why you wouldn't like it. This one I actually think is interesting. He says that if all of their exes are portrayed in a bad light, that's a red flag. And I actually kind of agree. If you're with someone and they're like, every person I've dated ended up being like awful, it's like, is there this common denominator? Although it is true that people who have been in abusive relationships before often end up in them again, because abusers can seek out people that are easier to abuse. So I do think it can be a red flag, I guess, but also I would take it with a grain of salt because it could mean a number of things. He says it's a red flag if a girl tells you that she was sexually abused within 30 minutes of meeting her. I guess it could be a red flag, although I would read it as someone saying up front, like, hey, I might have some boundaries around intimacy because of stuff I've gone through. That's how I would read it, but again, I do see why people would not like it. He says prioritize taking pictures above everything else. I mean, I guess if you're literally taking photos and not doing anything else, then sure. But if someone's just like taking a picture of their meal before they eat it, like I genuinely could not care less. Blames men for all of her issues and shortcomings in life. I mean, sure, I guess. Apparently, he says it's a red flag when a girl refers to herself as psycho, which I get, but I've met people who were like, oh my God, I'm so crazy. I'm the craziest person I know. And what they mean by that is that when they were in high school, they got in a shopping cart and their friends like ran around pushing them in the shopping cart through Target. So I think some people might just have different definitions of what it means to be psycho. He says it's bad if she has no hobbies because she'll be obsessed with you since she has nothing else to do. Maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like I've never met anyone with no hobbies. Like, sure, some people are probably on social media too much. I probably doom scroll social media too much, but I've never met people who, when I ask them like, so what do you do for fun? They genuinely just don't have an answer. It's a red flag if someone is dumber than a brick and proud of it. I don't know what this means. I've never met anyone proud of being dumb, but like, okay. He says it's a red flag if she gets mad if you don't pay attention to her all the time. If you aren't really paying attention to her, that feels like a reason to bring up. And also the sentence is written like he's experienced it personally, just the capitalization and the cursing. But again, I don't know your story, so I'll take your word for it. This one is interesting. He says it's a red flag if someone is addicted to gossiping. And I feel like I have to disagree because I like a bit of gossip sometimes. And my hot take is that I believe if someone says that they don't like gossip, they're just lying. I do think gossiping can either be fun or it can be mean. I kind of feel like the difference is obvious. Don't spill secrets that have been told to you in confidence. Don't say anything behind anyone's back that you wouldn't say to their face. That, you know what I mean? There's like fun gossiping and then there's like catty, mean gossiping. And I think it's easy to stay within the fun. So another red flag is if she says she's gonna fix you. Personally, I think if there's ever a situation where a girl says, I can fix him, everyone involved in the situation is a red flag, including like y'all's mutual friends, the people who raised you. Everyone's a red flag. So maybe y'all are meant for each other. But if one person ends up saying I can fix them, something has gone horribly wrong in the process. It's a red flag if she has enormous credit card debt. Could be financial irresponsibility. It could be something like medical bills. And I don't think it's a red flag. Like, again, you might not want to date someone with a lot of debt because you don't want to take that on. But I don't think it's a red flag. It could just mean that someone didn't have another option. And finally, he says it's a red flag if there are no mutual interests. Again, that just falls into the category of like, is this a red flag or are you guys just not compatible? So that was section 1. And, you know, I had my thoughts on it. I disagreed with a lot of it, but here's where things get interesting. The second part is he interviews a girl named Aurora, and it's cute. He asks what she notices in a man the first time. he asks, would you date an ugly guy if he had a good personality? And she says, which I think is fair, she says, yeah, but I need to get to know him better. And she says, looks attract, but personality keeps, which I think is a great quote. She talks about the best ways to start a conversation with a girl. She mentions deal breakers. She mentions good first dates. The one part that was weird is that he asks her what are her hobbies and interests. And she says that she's an artist and she likes to psychoanalyze people, but then she goes, here are some normal girl hobbies. And here are the 3 normal girl hobbies that she lists. Writing. I write a daily journal entry, but I don't write fiction. Art, not me. And also cozy games, like Roblox or Animal Crossing. And I kind of play a lot of video games, so I kind of raise an eyebrow at what a normal girl hobbies look like, because I think women are complex. But anyway, I'm just gonna breeze past that. She talks about how she prefers meeting people online because it's just easier to talk. And she talks about how to impress her, and he's listening. Like they seem to have really good chemistry. I don't think they're dating, but he is definitely flirting with her in a way that I actually think is very endearing. So yeah, I'm like, okay, this section is fine. He's getting opinions from a woman, which is a huge step up from a lot of these other like online guys that we've seen. Let's look at the last section. This is my favorite. So he interviews a guy, and the guy's one of his friends. I think he mentions that he was the first guest to ever come on Mogwarts and do any of the podcast stuff. But the guy's credentials for being interviewed about girls is the fact that the guy has a girlfriend, which I think is just so sweet and endearing. That's the qualifier. It's like, I'm in a relationship, therefore I can speak on all of them. I love that. That's really sweet. And the advice is actually good. So the interviewee says that guys have to be vulnerable and comfort girls because we all have anxiety. I don't know if all of us do, but I do, so I'll take his word for it. And then Kay Schwami says, here's a direct quote, girls, when they go on a date with you, their biggest fear isn't that they won't like you, it's that you'll kill them. Yeah. And it's fun. I genuinely don't want to make fun of guys for trying to empathize with women. The thing that's shocking to me, and what's shocking for probably a lot of other women who's watching this, is I feel like being a woman is just such a weird experience, and to hear, and it feels so universal. Like any girl knows that any girl is going to be terrified of being murdered on a first date. And to hear these guys talk about it and be like, oh my God, that's so messed up. That sucks. It's like, guys, imagine that you were watching like, I don't know, I can't even think of an equivalent, but imagine like girls being like, what's a guy specific thing? If you saw 2 girls talking to each other and one of the girls was like, oh my God, did you know that when a guy gets hit between the legs, it actually like really hurts? Like it hurts a lot. And the other girl's like, I know, isn't that like so crazy? You'd kind of be like, this is news? And that's kind of how I felt watching that clip. But like, so it did make me laugh, but also good for both of you for like recognizing what this is like and trying to be thoughtful of it. Another thing that they mention, which I fully agree with, he says dating is okay. If you get married, that's awesome, but if it doesn't work, you got a good experience. And that's one thing that I stand by, is I don't think that relationships that don't end in marriage are failed relationships, because you learn things out of every relationship and you grow as a person, and those good memories are still good memories even if they don't last forever. So good for you guys. And he says that like being rejected is okay. Both of them do. They say that both of them have been rejected a lot. Even like the most attractive men they can think of have been rejected. Don't let it affect how you see girls, and don't let it affect your self-esteem. And I'm like, this is awesome. Like, good for you guys. The second to last section, he talks about dealing with breakups. And he starts by saying that he has dealt with breakups and it's normal to feel bad. He says that you shouldn't blame her entirely, because you should figure out why the relationship ended and how you can grow from it as a person. He talks about how he had one long-term girlfriend, and and in the video he's speaking highly of her, and he says that he has no regrets for the relationship or how things turned out. And he says that even if your ex was awful, you shouldn't hate all women because of it. I was really impressed by this section. Let me cover the last section, and then we'll go over this one part and then we'll go over my overall thoughts. So the last part is alone but not lonely, And he starts by saying that he deals with loneliness sometimes. Again, it's a normal thing, that you are not a failure for experiencing. One part that breaks my heart is that he talks about, so he said that he moved to the US 4 years ago and that he's able to fit in because, quote, he doesn't have a strong Arab accent and doesn't look that Arab, so he was good enough. Am I crazy? That made me sad. You would be good enough even if you weren't white passing, or even if you didn't, or even if you did have a strong Arab accent, and nobody should, and I don't know. That section I feel like really changed my view of what I was doing. I feel like with YouTubers, even me, who doesn't make money from the content, I imagine that if you make money from YouTube, it skyrockets this, but there is this urge to like lean into controversy and drama because it gets views. Ask me how I know. And it's easy to pick someone bad and be like, here's a bad thing you did, and I'm gonna point and laugh at you. It's because then if you have decided that someone is bad, you don't really have to think critically about the way you talk about them in your video, because, well, they're a bad person, so I don't need to be thoughtful, I don't need to be considerate, and I think that can be harmful. And I try my best in every video. I haven't even done a lot of exposés, but when I did the video about John Mulaney, for example, I tried really hard not to fall into the category of being like, look at this awful person, look at this awful stuff he did. And I worry that when I started this video, before I signed up for the course, I had already had these preconceived notions of what a looks-maxing course directed at preteen and teenage boys was going to look like. And I don't think that my view was entirely accurate. Sure, he has said some stuff I disagree with. There's been a couple things that I don't agree with politically, and a lot of that we'll be discussing in the upcoming days. But he said stuff that I disagree with, and he's even said stuff that I think could potentially be harmful. But this guy seems like a good person. He seems like a genuinely sweet guy who wants to help people, who doesn't hate women. And you know what? Shame on me for seeing a man with a podcast and immediately grabbing my battle armor. Like, sure, you could argue, and I would argue, like, well, pattern recognition, but I did initially judge him unfairly, and I am sorry for that. I don't know how many people are going to make it this far into the video or make it to the end of the video. So I'll probably put something in the description of like, hey, watch the conclusion before commenting or something. But I was wrong. I don't think I was ever, I'm going to go back in the video and I'll put something here if I'm like, here's something I said that was too harsh. I don't think I was too harsh, although I'm biased because I'm me. So here's what we're going to do for the rest of the video. We've got a couple days remaining. We got like a week, I think, remaining, and I'm gonna keep giving my all to this, keep doing everything that I can do, and I'm gonna keep critiquing this course because I've already spent money on it, and because there are things I disagree with. But Kay Schwalmy, if you're watching this video, good for you. This was probably a lot of effort to set up. It's a lot of information for $15 a month. If anyone's watching this video, I do recommend that you try this course, as long as you feel like some of the topics will not be triggering for you, if you have like an eating disorder or other things like that. But if you feel like you are good at doing what I'm doing, which is to filter through the information and find what's applicable to you, I recommend this. And I want to end today with looking at one more section. So the self-improvement section. And this, I feel like, kind of wrapped up all of the good things that I think about Kay Schwalmy right now. So the first thing he says is that insecurities are normal and that he suffers with insecurities as well. One of the things that he says that I'm not sure if I agree with is he says that you should only be insecure about the things that other people notice. And I sort of get where he's coming from, because he's like, some of your insecurities may be entirely in your head, and so if nobody else ever brings them up to you, just stop being insecure about it, which I guess is fair. He also suggests working on other things, like his example is he's like, if you're short, you can't get taller, but you can get more muscular, so get more muscular to kind of make up for that. And like, sure, I guess. So I also, which was really important, got a confirmation of that we are roughly the same age. So in this video, he said that he is 22 years old. So of the time of filming the video, he was 22 years old, and I'm 22 years old right now. And I'm glad about that, because there were a couple moments where I'm like, I'm not like bullying a high schooler, right? And for the record, if I found out this guy was under the age of 18, I would have scrapped this whole video idea, because I'm not going to be a 22-year-old woman making fun of teenagers on YouTube. I just cannot become that person. But he mentions being interviewed recently by Tamron Hall, and I Googled it, and that happened 11 months ago. So he's probably 23 now. So he is a little bit older than me, but not by much. But anyway, side tangent, let's get back. He also says, as much as I like to preach looks, there's much more to a person. And he goes on to say that he's insecure, everyone is insecure, and the reason why you feel like you might be more insecure than the average person is because everyone puts the best version of their physical appearance out online, including him. And he talked about how for the interview he was wearing makeup because he was on national television. He talks about how every photo that gets posted online is like reviewed and maybe taken multiple times. This is good advice. He even says that in the future, Mogwarts is going to include stuff like how to study, how to get yourself out there, stuff like that, stuff that elevates who you are as a person aside from how you look. And, really good for him for doing this. He interviews a guy in this section. It's the same guy that he interviewed during the girls section. And he said, so you've been feeling better about yourself recently. Why is that? And the guy starts to talk about physical changes he's made, and Kay Swami cuts him off and is like, no, I want to talk about the mental stuff you've done to mentally feel better about yourself. And both of them say that improving the mindset is number one, is more important than look. And he even talks about the hate he's gotten, and he was really humble about it. And he took it on his shoulders really well. I think it can be really difficult to deal with hate. Ask me how I know. And he took it on the chin. That's where I'm going to stop for today. I think tomorrow we're going to go over how to get taller, so that will be very exciting. But that's the stuff I went over while I was sick. Sorry I had to take a break. And Kay Swami, good on you, man. You're a good guy, and I'm excited to finish out your course and see if it actually helps me at all. And if not, I've had fun doing it regardless, but we'll see what happens. See you guys tomorrow.
Hello, it is day 20. Let's talk about that. So today we are covering height, which is not really a big concern for me. I'm 5'4", which is average for a woman, so I have nothing to be insecure about. It is funny though, because my mom is 5'7" and my dad is 5'10", and that is taller. Both of them are taller than average. So why did I end up 5'4"? That is really unfair, but who's counting? And I'm not insecure about it, so it's fine. So here's what the slide says. Believe it or not, you can improve your height. Wearing a shoe with heavy support, so like platforms, I guess, or using sock lifts are both good methods to increase height. I'm not going to do either of those because neither of those things were on my list, but what I am going to do is go over towering confidence with you guys, which was the section of Looks Maxing 101 about your height. So the first thing that he says is that you cannot get taller once you finish growing because your plates fuse. So that's unfortunate for me, obviously. It's not, because I'm fine with my height. But it's good that he is being honest about this, because I've seen a lot of influencers that are like, here's how to get taller, and it's not really possible. So section 2 is all about how to get taller before puberty, which is not applicable to me. But I'm going to remember this because when I have kids, I'm going to follow all of the instructions, and I will have a legion of children that are all at least 7 feet tall. It's important to note that in this section, he says that the ideal height for a man is between 6 foot and 6'4". I'm not sure where he got those specific numbers, but I just want to say, Kay Swami, I disagree. I'm going to have an entire basketball team. See if I don't. No, but let's go over section 1, which is the thing that matters for us. So he suggests a couple ways of making yourself taller, including shoes with heavy support or sock lifts or shoe lifts and stuff like that. But here is the thing that he suggested that for a loop, which is leg lengthening surgery. So at the very least, I can say that he is being honest, and he says that you will lose all your athleticism, and it's painful, and walking is painful, and recovery is painful. So at least he's upfront about that. But why would you recommend something like that for aesthetic purposes? Even worse is he actually says and this is a direct quote, he wouldn't recommend leg lengthening surgery unless you're a man under 5'6", because in his mind, having it be painful to walk is a better alternative than being a 5'5" man. Don't do that. That's my takeaway. I don't care how tall you are. You can be a guy who is the size of a Lego brick, and that's fine. You don't hurt yourself, guys. And I'm not gonna get leg lengthening video or surgery for this video. He also talks about how having good posture can make you taller. So, am I beautiful now? No, I saw that some people recommend wearing like a neck brace for 10 minutes a day so your posture will improve, and I've got that like iPhone neck that multiple people have pointed out. So I'm gonna wear this for 20 minutes and I'm gonna be the most beautiful girl in the world. Don't get leg lengthening surgery. Don't even buy a neck brace. I did it, but don't do that. All right, it is day 21, which means I have to ice my face daily from this point forward. Avoid direct contact if I have sensitive skin or if I have never iced my face before. Let me should I wrap it in this and just like, this is too thick. This is like a nylon robe thing that I throw on to answer the door when I'm wearing pajamas. Yeah, this feels like a good level of separation. Is there anywhere it doesn't say there's anywhere I'm supposed to be icing in particular. So how are you guys doing? I assume I don't need to do my nose because I assume it's specifically for like fatty areas, like cheeks. Maybe it does something for your wrinkles. I know if you put a cold spoon below your eyes, it's supposed to help with eye bags, but I don't really think I have eye bags. I'll just keep doing this, and hopefully you guys will just trust me that I'm doing this, and I don't need to just do this in front of a camera for 5 minutes. So we figured out how to ice my face, and I'll start doing this so I can do it under my jaw too. You get the point. Okay, it is day 22. And today is super vague. It says, remember that feedback you got from the community? If we haven't covered the changes being made, now would be the time to change those things. So let's go back and look at the list. I haven't done anything with my hair. I did shape my eyebrows, although at this point it's probably pretty much back to normal. I think what we're gonna do is today we'll work on teeth whitening, because that's a section in the guide and it doesn't look like it's typically covered. So let's go over the stuff that was talked about in dental dominance. So I'll do this out of order because the second part just talks about gum disease and surgery on how to fix it and other stuff like that, which is important but not as immediately helpful. So let's talk about section 1. He had some genuinely good advice. One thing he says that, again, could be true but doesn't make sense to me, he says that if you have darker skin, it's more important to have whiter teeth. The reason that doesn't make sense to me is because I feel like if you have pale skin, then if your teeth are more yellow, it'll be more obvious, like the way you're not supposed to get white braces or like white bands on your braces. And like if you put on dark lipstick, your teeth will look whiter. So I don't know if that's true, but if it is, it takes the pressure off me because I am pale as a ghost. He also said that if you want your teeth to look natural, don't try to get like stark white teeth because they'll look like veneers. Again, it's more relaxed, takes the pressure off me. So this part made me laugh. He talks about how some people will use baking soda to whiten their teeth, and then he explains why they do it, but then talks about how it's a bad idea and crosses it off the document that he wrote.
Baking soda's abrasive nature aids in removing surface stains. However, its ability to alter intrinsic tooth color is limited. Overuse can actually damage your enamel, making teeth more prone to staining and decay. So I would really stay away from this option right here. This is more like a DIY type thing to do at home, and I don't recommend it for that reason.
And I'm like, you wrote the document. If this was a bad idea, why did you put it in here? This might be my favorite part of the whole, like, Mogwarts, because it just came out of nowhere and made me laugh. But he's talking about other things that can stain your teeth, and he mentions red wine, and he makes like a passive aggressive jab at red wine.
For its health benefits, its intense color and acid content can actually contribute to teeth discoloration. It's also haram, but whatever.
To be clear, it didn't make me laugh because he doesn't drink. That's fine. It just came out of nowhere, and it felt like he got possessed. Like he was talking about, like, he scoffed at the idea of red wine being good for you, and then was like, it's also haram, but whatever. I don't know. Again, there's no drama there. It just made me laugh. The video was also 20 minutes long, and he was like, it's because I'm not gatekeeping, but I did pay money to get access to this, so that is a gate that I had to get through, but that's just semantics at this point. So let's grab the thing I bought. So I bought this, and it comes with a bunch of stuff. I took it out of the case earlier. It comes with this guide. It's a teeth shade guide, so you can track your progress. I don't know where I am. I'll take a screenshot. And then 3 of these things, which you paint directly on your teeth. This, which I'll plug into my laptop. And my personal favorite, this scary thing. Oh no. I look like a creature. Okay. Okay. Teeth painted. Okay, that was a unpleasant experience. Cool. Hey guys, it is day 23. And today, day 23, it says pick a style. Business formal, event formal, casual, artsy, vibrant / design / colorful, fashion, comfort casual, hip hop, which I thought of as music and not a style, but I'm always open to learning new things. Athleisure, beach fashion, nautical fashion, e-boy fashion, or modern formal fashion. Right now, I feel like I've kind of got didn't sleep last night fashion going on, but that's what we're gonna work on today. Also, it's interesting because I feel like business formal, event formal, casual, that's not a style. That's what you wear to certain events. You're not going to dress the same for every event. But I digress. Let's talk about dress to impress, which was the section in Looks Maxing 101. The first thing he says is that people notice your style before noticing anything else about you, hence why it's so important. And that's fair. He also says that you should pick a style that you like, rather than suggesting that there's one size that fits all. And that's correct. He doesn't talk about women's fashion at all. So this is going to have limited use for me. But there are some helpful things that he talks about, so let's skim over that. One of the things that I thought was really sweet is that he said to take inspiration from the people around you, and if you see someone and you like what they're wearing, go up and be like, hey, where did you get your shirt? I love it. I love that. Spread positivity in the world. He also says, which I think is helpful, is that if you're expanding your wardrobe, get like classic pieces that anyone can wear first and then move on to more unique pieces later. So this part is, so he goes to sizing, and this is funny, and I'll explain for a woman for a second, but he said, a part that made me laugh is when he says, you should figure out your body type to figure out what will look flattering on you. And he listed the body types as fat, skinny, or skinny fat. And the reason why it made me laugh is because when women talk about body types, you can't say fat. That's a dirty word. So people are an apple or a pear or a triangle. And I actually think it might be healthier to live in a world where you can say skinny or fat without it having negative connotations, and we don't need to like have these like we don't need to be like you're not fat, you just have an apple body type. Yeah, so no judgment. I just giggled because you would never hear a woman tell another woman like, "Well, do you consider yourself fat or skinny fat?" It would all yeah, anyway, that just is funny. He has a lot of advice on how clothes should fit, but again, it's not really helpful because I'm a woman and he talks about masculine bodies. But we're going to get to something that will help me in a second. He also has some general shopping advice, which I do not need because I'm great at buying things, especially clothing. I unfortunately do contribute to gender stereotypes. So he kind of says, so the next part is color theory. And he kind of says that he believes it's more important to know what colors don't go together as opposed to knowing which ones do, because he's like, most colors will go well together. But he says, like, don't pair bright red and bright green because you'll look like Christmas. And the only colors he says solidly not to wear are like bright neon colors like highlighter colors, which is not an issue for me. I'm not going to go over the rest of it because it's pretty decent advice, and I'm trying to find areas not to talk about because I'm already probably showing too much. But then towards the end of the section, he suggests jewelry and says that he wears necklaces and bracelets. So good for you. I do that also. So normally that would be the end of it. But while I was sick, I found this person, the image consultant Maidenhead, and I submitted photos of myself to the report, and I have been saving the email, so we're going to go over the email together. So it's going to tell me what my season is. It's also going to tell me like what I should wear and stuff, and that will be helpful. So let me pull that up. Oh, before I pull that up, let me show you a highlight reel of me filling out the form while I was sick. I didn't record my face, but you can hear my voice. Sign up. To sign up, click here, then simply enter your email, order number, password. Details, enter your first and last name. Photo. Take a photo and upload. Ensure your face is central when cropping. The main photo is of your face. You must then add at least 2 full body images. I wonder what she's gonna have to say about my body. Also, please make sure your face is in the center of the rectangle, then press finish cropping. When you're happy, press save image. I wonder why, like, why you need it in the center in order to determine my skin color. And then there will be questions on the website. Cool, let's do it together. Clean camera lens. I think my camera lens is clean. I'll wipe. I should have done this before I got my eyebrows dyed. Whoops. So take photo in natural light. Position your face. Remove any eyewear. Okay, I'm gonna... Oh, I can actually do this while on... Or I'm gonna pause and do this. Okay, I got my photos. So I'm gonna use this photo. It's a little old at this point. I think it's like 2 years old, but I have my natural brows and I'm not breaking out. And then I have these 2 full body photos from just, that's my ladybug spot that has since passed away. Do I color my hair? I do not. Do you wear makeup? Not every day, but I'll get back to that. Okay, let's start from the top. Do you consider your undertone to be warm or cool? I think I actually have cool skin undertone. My natural hair coloring is blonde. Do you think your hair has any golden red tones? I think my hair is definitely warm toned. I'll find a photo of my hair in direct sunlight. I don't know about red tones. I've heard some people describe me as a strawberry blonde, and I'm not sure I agree with that. My eye color is blue. Do you prefer gold or silver jewelry? I wear both. If I had to just pick one, maybe silver, but I really wear both. Are you happy with your current hairstyle? Yes. Would you like suggestions for your cut? Yeah, sure. Do
You wear makeup? Yes. I think I have dry skin. Describe your style and what your go-to items are. Okay. I don't know. I'd probably consider myself preppy. I wear a lot of skinny jeans, crop tops, skirts. If I'm wearing a dress, I always go for the fit and flare. I don't think high-waisted things flatter me. What else do I know about my style? I don't wear anything with shoulder pads. Sure. Any problem areas when dressing? I don't think so. I only wear makeup on special occasions. And when I wear it, I will really wear anything. I like playing with color combos, but if I'm being safe, I'll usually do an orange or copper eyeshadow to make the blue in my eyes pop. What is my main reason for having a transformation package? I'm about to graduate college and I want to glow up before entering the real world, I suppose. I've also always been curious about my season and stuff, so now felt like a good time to do this. Okay, did I answer all the questions? Okay. 48 hours. That feels really fast. Because she didn't say 2 business days, she said 48 hours. And that always makes me suspicious, as you've seen from my Etsy videos. But I will let you guys know when I get that. Okay. Hi, Chloe. I really enjoyed putting your report together. Your summer transformation report is attached to Use for Life. Please use the report and your color swatch for the best results on your fashion journey. If you have any items you're looking at or need help with anything, please let me know, as you are welcome to send me links. As a homework task, please send me a before and after wearing your new colors/hair color/makeup colors so I can see how you get on. You're now also eligible for one of my hair edits. This is a service where I apply a seasonal color to your photo so you can see a change without having to make a change. Let's see what that looks like. For 75 pounds, she will use Photoshop. I'm okay, thank you. I recommend getting a fabric swatch if you wanted something more physical and 100% color match. It's a game changer to take in your bag everywhere with you. You can use this for online shopping and in person, also great for lipstick, nails, and eyeshadow matching. So for almost 30 pounds, I can just get a physical book of fabric swatches. That seems fine, that seems decent. I also have a digital version which has 75 colors. How much does this cost? $20. Oh, $20 for just the color palette, another 20 pounds for the makeup, another 20 pounds for color combination. That's fun. 20 pounds for... great to always keep on your phone when you don't have the fabric swatch. I'd always recommend having both. Cool. For extra free support, you can also join my free members club on Facebook. Cool. You can also follow my LTK account where I tag clothing within your season from favorite online stores. Thank you, and I look forward to hearing how you get on. Please note I delete all reports once sent. This is for confidentiality purposes. Please keep your report safe. Well, it's going on the internet, so... I forgot what photo I used. That's crazy. Transformation report, color season, summer, subseason, true summer, undertone, neutral, leans cool, and I look so excited about this too. Color analysis notes, true summer. This means you can wear all colors in your season. What undertone do I have? Neutral undertone that leans cool. So these are some of my colors. These are my best neutrals. Complementary colors. Use the color wheel when putting your best colors together. The opposite colors work well together. Okay? Style options for you. The photos represent the style, shape I recommend for your hair, but they may not necessarily depict the same hair texture. Feels like the hair texture is a pretty important part of how you style your hair or how you cut it. These all look like roughly my hair texture, though. Okay, hair analysis. Blonde hair color options I recommend for you are ash blonde, icy blonde, cool champagne blonde, silver blonde, and beige blonde. Brown hair color options I recommend for you are cool ash brown, mocha brown, or taupe brown. Glasses analysis. Choosing glasses that complement your face shape can enhance your overall look. Aviator or cat eye glasses will suit your face shape. What is my face shape? Are you not going to tell me? Okay. Your best metals. Silver. Its cool, reflective quality complements your skin, creating a harmonious look. Or rose gold. Rose gold is a trendy option that blends well with your undertone. It has a slightly pinkish hue, which can add a soft feminine touch. And gold can be worn lower down or in small pieces. Lip colors to try in your season. Those are all really pink compared to what I normally wear, but we're gonna figure it out. Blush colors, rose and taupe brown. I do not think I can do taupe brown. I could probably pull off this rose color. Blue or brown eyeliner, and just, yeah, like cool toned pastel eyeshadow. All right. Style report. Top tip when shopping, use keywords from your report when browsing your favorite clothing websites and match with your best color. For example, a V-neck top. So, top styling. Neckline, choose a V-neck, a scoop neck, sweetheart necklines, boat neck, or cowl. For tops, opt for fitted tops that emphasize the waist without being overly tight. And peplum tops and wrap style tops are particularly flattering. For layering, consider well-fitted jackets that cinch at the waist for a polished look. Cardigans or blazers can complement your silhouette when left opened or lightly fastened. Sleeve length is important to think about. The eye level will be drawn to where the sleeve length stops. Oh, that's crazy. Basically, style your sleeve length based on where you want people to look at you, and the options are bust, waist, and hips. The three genders. Avoid wide sleeves like bell sleeves, flutter sleeves, and anything with a lot of volume. This creates a top-heavy look. If you like these types of sleeves, I recommend a darker color. Why do I want to avoid a top-heavy look? Don't be shy. Tell me what I need. Layering. Consider well-fitted jackets that cinch at the waist for a polished look. Cardigans or blazers can complement your silhouette when left open or lightly fastened. Style report. Belted trench coat, belted wrap coat, or A-line coat that has some fitting and bust/waist. Yes, okay, I'm gonna show off my waist. I get it. Bottom styling, skirts. A-line skirts, pencil skirts, I hate pencil skirts, and tulip skirts work well to highlight your curves. High-waisted skirts can emphasize your narrow waist. If there's anything she wants me to get out of this, it's that I need to show off the waist. Best trouser styles. Straight leg trousers, wide leg trousers, elasticated trousers, slim trousers, dark wash. Avoid paper bag silhouettes, usually because the extra fabric and the loose fit around your hips tend to not work well. Okay, best shorts. High-waisted shorts. Opt for a high-waisted shorts that cinch at the narrowest part of the waist. Belted shorts. Choose shorts with a belt or tie detail. Tailored shorts. Look for shorts with a tailored or structured fit that can enhance your silhouette without adding bulk. A-line shorts. A-line shorts with a slight flare can provide a balanced look, or wide leg shorts.
Wide leg shorts can create well-proportioned appearance, especially when paired with a fitted top. Belts. Guys, you'll never guess this, but you should use belts to cinch dresses, tops, and outerwear at the waist. Experiment with different belt widths and styles. I recommend thin to medium belt, nothing too thick, okay? Heels. Pointed toe shoes can elongate your legs and create a more streamlined look. Heels of any height can help balance your proportions. What's wrong with my proportions? Are you saying my proportions are not balanced? Okay, flat shoe styles. Pointed toe flats. Pointed toe flats can elongate your legs and provide a more streamlined appearance. They add a touch of sophistication to your outfit. Guys, I hate ballet flats. Ballet flats are a classic and versatile option. They are comfortable, lies, and work well with various outfits from casual to semi-formal. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think that heels are so much more comfortable than ballet flats. I hate ballet flats. I hate them. Loafers. Loafers are a chic and comfortable choice. Opt for styles that are not too chunky and have a streamlined design to maintain a balanced look. Ankle straps. Flats with ankle straps can draw attention to your ankles, creating a slimming effect. Choose delicate straps for a more feminine look. I don't know if espadrillas. Espadrillas are a great casual option, especially in the warmer seasons. They come in various styles, including those with ankle ties or lace-up details. Slip-on trainers. Slip-on trainers with a sleek design can provide a sporty and comfortable option. Look for styles with minimal bulk to maintain a balanced appearance. Mules are backless shoes that can be both comfortable and stylish. Choose a pair with a pointed or almond toe for an elongating effect. I think she doesn't like I think my legs need to be elongated, guys. That's the vibe I'm getting. Accessories. Statement jewelry that draws attention to your neck and décolletage can enhance your overall look. Clutches or handbags that are not too oversized will maintain balance. I typically go for dainty jewelry, so I don't know if that counts as statement jewelry. Small to medium-sized prints. Opt for prints that are in proportion to your body size. Small to medium-sized prints tend to work well as they won't overwhelm your frame. Please use your color analysis color swatch when choosing print color. Style report. Oh my god. Swimwear. Bikinis with supportive tops and high-waisted bottoms can be very flattering. One-piece swimsuits with ruching or detailing. Tankinis. Fitted tops. Opt for tankinis that are fitted and provide good bust support. Pair them with high-waisted bottoms for a classic and flattering look. Wrap swimsuits. Wrap-style tops or bottoms. Swimsuits with wrap detailing can highlight your waist, my god, and add a touch of elegance to your beach or pool look. Adjustable straps. Look for swimwear with adjustable straps to ensure a secure and comfortable fit. This is particularly important for bust support. Yes, I've noticed. Okay, that's everything. Now, how are we going to put this to the test? So, completely coincidentally, we have like a school dance tonight, like the senior prom for graduating college students. Here's a photo of the dress I will be wearing, which is, I think, the right color. It's a navy. Yeah, it's kind of like a cool navy, and that's one of my best neutrals. Yeah, so it's a summer color. I am going to get my hair done. My plan is to just show them a picture of the dress and be like, do something fun. But I'm also going to do my makeup with summer colors. And I don't know how I'm going to do that because I usually wear warm toned makeup to make my eyes look more blue. But we're going to see what happens. So I will see you guys tonight when I do my hair and makeup. Or no, when I just do my makeup, someone else is going to do my hair. See you tonight. Hey guys, you get voiceover Chloe because I live in a house with other people. Here's the primer I'm using, by the way. And I don't want them to hear me doing a makeup tutorial because that's embarrassing. I've done makeup on video for you guys before, so this is just me putting it on my face. And then I did this for the soft girl video too, but I've gotten into this habit of putting not yellow, but warm toned concealer under my eyes and under my foundation to hide the purple of the dark circles. I don't know if that works. It might disappear as soon as the foundation goes on. It might literally be doing nothing, but you know, it's a thing to do.
And then I'm going to go ahead and put the purple lip stain on so that it would sit while I do the rest of my makeup and stain my lips more. This is the only like berry tone I had. I was worried it would be a little bit too dark and veer into winter territory instead of true summer, but we work with what we got. And then the foundation goes on. I think at this point I've forgotten to show you guys the products, but comment below and ask and I'll tell you. I just put dots on my face until I get bored of putting dots on my face and then blend it in. So now I'm going to go ahead and do my eyeshadow. This is the palette I'm using. And I'm going to do this like silver blue and then this more silver because those seem like solid summer colors. I'm not actually good at makeup is my secret. I kind of have one way of applying eyeshadow and I don't really blend it out. It just goes straight on my lid, which I don't even think is how you're supposed to do it, but that's what I do. I apply with my fingers and with brushes. I have no rhyme or reason for doing anything. It's just whatever the vibe is at the moment. My phone is also not angled well right now because I need to look above it for the mirror, so I feel like you cannot see how I'm applying the eyeshadow at all, but that's okay. So now that the eyeshadow looks good and looks fully blended, even though it might not be, I have no idea, I'm going to go ahead and do blush. And for blush, I'm actually going to do something different. I'm going to use this, which is this bunny brand. It's actually like a lip thing, but it doesn't work well on my lips, so I use a bunch of these for blush. I was not sure about this because it's really light, but it's the coolest tone I have. Again, this is meant to be used on your lips, so I'm fully making up how to do this. It actually is blending, or it did blend a lot better than I expected it to, and it worked well with the rest of the makeup, which I was not expecting because it's a very light, cool-toned pink in contrast with like berry-toned lips and blue eyeshadow. Although I guess the fact that it's so light means it kind of disappeared a little bit, which I didn't mind because one of my big struggles with blush is putting it on gently enough because I'm so pale that it's so easy for it just to start looking bad. So I put it along my cheekbone and on the apple of my cheek. I actually do my blush without smiling so that I can see what it will look like with my resting face. But yeah, I go ahead and do my eyebrows also, even though I don't really feel like I need to, but just add a little extra something. And then I do my mascara, which is really the only makeup you need. I've said this in previous videos, but mascara is like the makeup product. So if any of you guys are thinking about trying makeup and you want some place to start, mascara immediately elevates your look. And now we're finished, so yeah. Hello, it is day 24. First of all, do you like my hair? I learned how to do this during my senior capstone, and it's nice because if it's almost hair wash day, it hides your roots. But anyway, today we're talking about sunglasses. If you have a below average eye area, check out the Eye Mastery Guide, read the glasses section, and pick out a pair. We cover size, shape, and sourcing. So we already know what what sunglasses I need because of the thing we did yesterday, the style. So that's covered. But we still have to go over the Predator Eyes section of the Looks Maxing Guide. So he starts by talking about I need to figure out my eye shape and size and also my eye space. How prominent is my eye ridge, which I think is like that. It says that a significant eye ridge is really masculine, so maybe that's not the vibe I'm going for. Do I have deep set eyes? And I think I don't, but comment if I'm wrong. Figure out my canthal tint, and a positive canthal tint is better. He talks something about a medial canthus, and he also asks how much upper eyelid exposure do I have, and I think I have a lot. which is apparently not good. He says that hooded eyes are the best. And he also says that having a lot of upper eyelid exposure is a big no-no. And having hooded eyes gives a hunter look, whatever that means. Although he does say that it's okay to have a lot of eyelid exposure and that it looks better for some people. He also says I should make my sclera as white as possible because white means the eyes are healthy. I do think that's true, although I also think that some people, particularly people of color, can have like a slight yellow tint, and that's also normal, but oh well. Okay, so then he talks about eyebrows. So eyebrows should not go down at the end, you know, the way mine do. They're not supposed to do that because that gives a negative tilted appearance. And he says that all men should have denser eyebrows, which doesn't apply to me. But I also wanted to point out that he says that Asian men and black men are more likely to have less dense eyebrows because of their phenotype. I don't know what that means. But he specifically says it's not their fault, but that it's fixable. And I think as a general matter, as just a safe guideline for life, if you find yourself saying, you as a person of color should do this thing because it will make you look or act more white and that's good, generally I'd reel that back. That's usually, that kind of language is usually the sign that you're going in the wrong direction, but that's just me. He does immediately after that say that darker eyebrows are better and calls out gingers and blondes, so maybe every race is bad, but I'm not a woman of color, so I'm not qualified to speak on this. So he says to make my eyebrows dark and even, and I already dye and wax them, so I think I'm good. He lists these eyebrow styles. Natural, which aren't sufficient enough apparently. Straight, arched, and this is masculine apparently, and it can look attractive, but you shouldn't overarch. And unibrows, which he doesn't care for at all. He says that unibrows are halal, which I think is, if my research was right, that means that that's what you're supposed to do. That's good. And I think it might be right because I don't know if you're actually supposed to shape your eyebrows, but they're bad. So I don't know what the rules are, but I'm Jewish, so luckily I don't need to worry about that. He also says that rounded eyebrows are feminine, and I don't think of my eyebrows as round. I should fill them in more right now, but they feel pretty sharp. So for eyebrow tilts, you want to have a positive tilt for a guy because it makes you look like I guess you want your eyebrows to look like this. So he says to measure the tilt, take a photo and put the dot right at the end of each eyebrow and then draw a straight line. So he also wants you to grow out your eyebrows more. And here are the 3 things he suggests. First of all, he suggests a derma roller. Absolutely not. He recommends a derma stamp. Absolutely not. But then he recommends a bunch of oils like castor oil, rosemary oil, fermented rice water, some serum, caffeine serum, and minoxidil. So for eyelash growth, he says you should be more gentle with your eyelashes, which seems smart. He says to blend castor and rosemary oil and apply to the lashes with a mascara wand every night, and keep that in mind. He gets more into upper eyelid exposure, and he talks about the difference between hooded eyes and monolid eyes. Hooded eyes is specifically when this part of your eye like comes down, so you can't, like, if like my eyes are open right now and you can still see my lid, and then so I feel like there are more kinds of eyes than monolid and hooded eyes, but I'm not the expert. He says they're both good, which is good, and he also talks about makeup difficulties with both type, which stuck out to me, although he does make this comment about men's makeup not making sure it's not zesty.
And they offer a clean canvas for various artistic styles. This is more so for both women and men, but you can't get too creative as a man because then it starts to look a bit more zesty. But
so comment down below what you think that means. But he says that monolids and hooded eyes are both good in different ways, which is good. So, and then there's another section. He asks me to figure out if my eyes are symmetrical. He talks about how to take photos. He talks about eye wrinkles, and I think I'm okay. But he loops back to the sclera point at the beginning, and he does clarify that when he says to keep the eyes white, he means white as opposed to red. So that's good. Although he does say that some people have health problems, which will give you a yellow sclera. And after doing some research, it does seem that you can have a more natural yellow sclera anyway. So just because of melanin. So just keep that in mind.
But yeah, that's this section. It was a little bit longer. So I took these photos right after doing the course because I didn't have anything else to do. It was when my eyebrows were still a little thicker, so I feel like it's good I took them then. Here is, I put dots at the corners of my eye, each corner of my eye and eyebrows, so it looks like I have a positive canthal tint on my eyes, but my eyebrows do go down because they're eyebrows. I made this little drawing of what it would look like if I just had straight brows, and personally I'm not a fan, but comment down below if you think this looks really good on me. I also googled how to tell if you have wide set eyes versus narrow set eyes, and it says that if the space between your eyes is longer than the length of one of your eyes, then you have wide set eyes. If it's narrow, you're narrow set eyes, and I think I have wide set eyes. Not by a ton, but the space between my eyes is larger than one eye gap apart. And finally, I got these things. So this is castor oil, and I think this is rosemary oil, which I'll use for my brows and lashes. Oh, this is a strong smell. And then I have this thing that I'll put it in. How are we gonna do this? So let's unpack this. This is big. Okay. Let's do this one first. How am I gonna, okay, wait, okay. I got, oh God. I got this between my knees. Gotta take the stopper out. Oh, that is a strong scent. Oh, oof, oh wow. I am very sensitive to smells, so this is really cool. I'll try to fill it to about halfway. I hope the castor oil has a really gentle scent and so balances this out, because wow. Okay. I need to take some out because there needs to be room for the wand. Okay, that seems good. And I think I can just use the same dropper tool for the castor oil too, because I bought these with the purpose of using them for this. Okay, this doesn't really have a smell, which is good because the rosemary oil is a strong one. This is thicker. I'm having trouble picking this up. Oh yeah, this is real thick. I might need a different strategy. I feel like more of it is getting on my finger than in here. Okay, we need to reassess. What are we gonna do here? Do not have any napkins, which was not a smart move. If it's thick, can I pour it without it spilling everywhere? Okay. I think I mostly got it. I'm gonna grab a paper towel and I'll be right back. I think I might have overfilled it just a little, so we'll see what happens when I put the wand in. I'll keep this wrapped around. It's definitely as full as it can be. Oh yeah, that is a strong smell. It's cloudy. Why is it cloudy? Okay, well, we did it. Guys, I'm in pajamas and I'm about to go to bed, but I need to tell you what just happened. I didn't film it and I'm like kicking myself for not filming it, but it didn't occur to me that anything might go wrong. I put this stuff on my brows and then I went to put it on my lashes and immediately, oh my God, I don't even know how I can describe it, but I'll give a comparison. I'm an actress, as you may or may not know, and I don't use it much, but I have this like cry stick that you can use in a pinch, and it's just like menthol, and you put it under your eyes and it'll make your eyes water up because it's like menthol near your eye, and that's what that stuff felt like near my eye. I like could barely keep my eyes open. I mean, I mentioned the smell earlier when I was doing it, so I guess that was what happened. So yeah, yeah, I guess the smell of rosemary is just really strong for me. So the cocktail went straight in the garbage. Sorry, Keshwami, I'm not strong enough. I couldn't do it. Okay, good night. All right, it is day 25, and today we're doing nose lifters. And it says, well, I personally don't use these. They do work temporarily if you have a bad nose area due to nose bumps, over projection or under projection. Nose hooks can provide a temporary solution. So I do have a nose bump. I try not to see it as a bad thing, but it has been an insecurity of mine, and it's something I've had to work towards, but that's not what this course is about. So I bought the nose hooks that he's showing here. And I also want to point out, this was on the page, on the Amazon page, and the two things is it says like 1 month, 6 months to 1 year, and it's a graph, but it doesn't say what the graph means. It also doesn't look like it's advertising itself as a temporary solution. But I'm a big fan of the before and after pics. As a general matter, I'm a big fan of before and after pics that are clearly just the same photo that's been edited. But what's wrong with this nose? Tell me why this nose is better than this nose. Didn't expect to find anti-Semitism on my Amazon page, but... Oh, okay, it looks like they come in little kits. Because there's a bunch of these. So I'll take one for today. I'm also dressed up nice because I have a job interview, which is the best time to start messing with your appearance randomly. Am I gonna have to Google how to use this? So I think what's supposed to happen... Oh, this is like rubbery, okay. Is that it's gonna go like that. But then how do we get it in there? Okay, so someone says it comes with a tool for, according to this Reddit thread, it comes with a tool for removal. So I assume that's this. Okay, well, she's fully not explaining this well, but it looks like you just shove it in there.
She feels her nose cavities are just too small.
It's not cute. This is why I'd rather just get injections.
Okay, well, she didn't even like it. She says her nose cavity is too small. I think mine might be too big, but it's in. I don't like it. Is my nose different? It does. Oh, I don't feel like there's any super obvious difference. I don't think it's doing anything. Maybe if you had a smaller nose, because it would actually put pressure, but it just feels like I stuck stuff in my nose. But we did what we were told, so day 25 complete. I don't think I can wear this every day. Hello, it is day 26, and today we are going to talk about cologne, or perfume for me. So it says, check out the product section. We recommend some fragrances. Try going to Kohl's or a clothing store near you that sells cologne. We will also be adding a cologne overview guide soon. I don't know how old this is because he does have a thing called the Art of Scent, and let's talk about that. So his first advice is to find a scent that you like, but is also going to appeal to other people too, which makes sense. I like the smell of bleach, but I don't wear bleach as perfume. Instead, I wear the Ex Ulteriora, is that how you say it? Yeah, Ex Ulteriora Magnus Archives perfume that smells like bleach. No, but I'll talk about the specific perfumes I use later. He also talks about the difference between all these like different French words for cologne and perfume, which I did not know. Like I had no idea that they're like eau de perfume and eau de parfum or whatever were different. Which I was shocked by because I'm a big perfume girly. I love wearing perfume. I wear yeah, it's funny. I wear perfume almost every day, but you guys probably didn't know that because you can't really tell that through a YouTube video. He also mentions that having different fragrances for different settings is helpful, which I had not considered. I do wear different scents during different seasons, but I've not really sorted my scents by occasion. So I might actually try to put aside like some fancier scents versus daily scents. His specific examples are mostly for men, and I'm big on traditional feminine scents. Like I really like florals, I really like sweet, I really like clean smells, I really like citrus. I don't really like smells that are spicy. I can do woodsy, but I like stuff on the sweeter side. I hate musk. I hate the smell of musk. He talks about where to apply perfume and lists a bunch of places and ranks them by how good they are. I'm not going to list all the places, but I'll mention the ones where I put. So he says to put perfume on 2 different spots. And I will typically apply my perfume. If it's a spray perfume, I'll just spray it in the air and walk into it. But if it's a perfume oil, I will put it on my wrist, my inner elbow, and my neck. And then sometimes I'll put it behind the ears, although not often, especially with oil because I don't want it to get in my hair. So that's 3 to 4 places, so maybe I'm applying too much. And he says perfume. He also says getting perfume on your clothes might damage them, but again, I just spray alcohol-based perfume in the air and walk and do it, and I've never had an issue, but I don't know, don't take my word for it. And then finally, he has a bunch of fragrance recommendations, but I don't like spicy, woody, or musky fragrances, which is pretty much the only thing ever marketed towards men. So sucks to be me. That's pretty much all I've got here. But I want to take a moment and go over some of the perfumes I use in case you guys are interested. So let me pull up the list. There's a bunch of perfumes from Atelier Cologne that I really like, but it is so expensive. But here are the ones that I really like if you can afford it. I cannot. So I just get like samples when I can. I love the Orange Sanguine. I think it's Iris Rebelle. I don't know. There's this scent called Cedar Atlas, which they market as a summer scent, but I only wear it in December because to me it smells like Christmas trees. There are 2 scents, Grand Neroli and Bergamot Soleil, and I'll only have one at any given point because they're both very lemony scents. But yeah, those are the Atelier Cologne perfumes that I wear, and I really like them, but again, they are so expensive. And finally, I made a joke about this earlier, but I do own both of the Magnus Archives perfumes. The first is called John and Martin, which was just the first one that they released, and I really like it. It's much less sweet than most of the fragrances I usually get. Sometimes I will layer it with like a vanilla perfume. I'm trying to remember. I cannot remember it off the top of my head. I'll put it here if I remember, but I have like a standard vanilla perfume that I will sometimes layer underneath other perfumes if I have a perfume that I'm like, I really like this, but it's not sweet enough. So I often wear John and Martin with that. And then there's the Exalteriora. I pre-ordered it way ahead of time because I'm a big fan of the Magnus Archives, and here are what the scent notes. It says, Exalteriora, a book with paranormal properties decorated with an image of a starless sky. It is said that the scent of ozone emanated from its pages at different times before it was destroyed, so that's what this scent is. You could almost call it lightning in a bottle. I really like it. It does kind of smell like bleach. It does kind of smell like ozone, but to me it kind of smells like rain almost, like it smells like a storm, and I really enjoy it, but it does kind of also smell like bleach. So yeah, those are the perfumes that I wear. Comment down below if you have perfumes that you like. I'm always looking to find more perfumes, especially because I love Atelier Cologne, but it's so expensive. All right, I'm back at home. So here's the situation. So it was another 2-day break where there was nothing to do. And I spent that time wisely. On the first day, since I had some free time, I went ahead and graduated from college, and that was really cool. And then my second day, again, since I had nothing to do, I piled all of my stuff into my car and drove back to live with my family. And then today, I went to an audition, which was super fun. That's why I'm wearing makeup. If you're wondering why the makeup is smeared all over my face, it's because I got home and I sat down and I immediately had a flare-up so bad that I couldn't walk. So I'm like, well, if I can't walk, I might as well take a nap waiting for it to pass, because I'm pretty used to walking, so not being able to walk kind of threw a wrench in my ability to do things. So I took a nap and I woke up 5 hours later. My makeup has actually stayed pretty well considering I slept with it for 5 hours, so that's super cool. But anyways, now it's day 29, second to last day. We're getting excited. Day 29, skin finial touches. Get a tinted sunscreen, water-based tanner, or foundation. If you have any hyperpigmentation, this will cover it up. You can use this on your under eyes if they are still hollow or dark. I'm wearing foundation under my under eyes, and also the rest of my face, and also blush, and also eyebrow stuff, and mascara, and eyeshadow. Did I say blush? Yeah, that's it. I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight because I slept for 5 hours, but we're gonna deal with that. I'll see you tomorrow. Hi, we're almost done. It's day 30. I'm gonna look at the final day stuff. I've got this attached to my computer because I've started editing this video,
And it's gonna be longer than a movie, I think, but we're not even close to being done editing, so we'll see what happens. So day 30, use an under eye tightener. Peter Thomas Roth Instant Firmax is one of the best under eye tighteners on the market. Feels like a weird one for the last day, right? Feels a little anticlimactic, but I've already been using under eye stuff, so I guess we're done. And then reflections, okay. Take a new front profile and side profile in the morning after using the bathroom. Wonder why, oh, I guess then your stomach. Okay, so here are the before and after results. Do I look better with a more fitted shirt and jewelry and doing a blowout on my hair? Probably. I usually wear gold with this shirt, but I wore silver because this is like the light blue. These are all the summer colors because that's what the analysis said. And then finally it says, share your results. We're glad you've transformed. Share your results with the community for additional tailored feedback. I'm not gonna do that. Well, I guess I sort of am doing that because I'm posting this YouTube video, but I'm not posting to the thing. In fact, I've already ended my subscription. Sorry. So let's talk really quickly. I feel like there's not really much to say to wrap up. I mean, this video is probably gonna be like an hour and a half to 2 hours, so I don't feel like a long conclusion is necessary. If you've made it this far into the video, congratulations. You very well might be the only human being who's ever done that. I don't know if anyone's gonna do that except for me, because I'm gonna edit it. I said a lot of what I wanted to say on the like social dating life and girls section when I sort of realized that I'd been really unfairly hard on Keishwami. I do think I came into this with a preconceived notion of what it would be like and what, you know, the kind of person that would make a course like this, and I, in hindsight, feel like I was unfair. Yeah, Keishwami, if you're watching this video, keep up the good work, man. I don't agree with you on everything, but I think I said this exact thing on the social life and girls thing about like, I don't agree with you on everything. Let's talk about the actual looks for a second. I mean, my hair is smoother. There's a mirror over there so I can tell. I don't know if my skin is like any different, really. Like I said, when you're taking a photo, obviously, when you've got like the jewelry and the hair done and the fitted clothing, it's gonna be a nicer presenting image than the big baggy t-shirt. Also, when I did the side profile image, I think I'm still doing a little bit of that carriage neck or iPhone posture, but it's a little bit more hidden with my hair. Turns out I could not perfectly fix my very bad posture within like 28 days, but I'm gonna keep working on that. I don't think that this top lip has gotten bigger. I don't know if my under eyes have gotten brighter. I don't think anything structurally has changed, which is a big part of it. I did skip the weight loss and the like muscle building stuff, and I imagine that would contribute to like your face changing, but yeah, like I just don't think that you're gonna be able to change your nose or your eyes or anything crazy without like surgery. Which is fine. I like my face. I guess there's only one thing to say to end off this giant, enormous, going to be such a huge pain to edit video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.